Wow, this video has been in the work for over a year. I mean, depending how you look at it, you're like, you can make the argument it's been in the work for 10 minutes because it's my fastest speedrun ever. But the important thing is, it's my first zero cycle PB, baby. Oh my gosh, I literally got taught how to zero cycle over a year ago, last February, and I remember as I got taught over those couple of days by one of my friends now. His name is Silver. I was like, you know what? The day I hit a zero cycle PB, I'm gonna send a message saying, I finally did it, bro. I finally used your teachings. I hit a zero cycle PB. Because it's just, zero cycling, I think, is the coolest technique in Minecraft speedrunning. You gotta have very precise block. It's just like very mechanical, and you're just like, I don't know, you're killing the end boss in the sky with explosives. I mean, you can't get much cooler than that, right? And so thank you, Silver, for teaching me how to zero cycle. I finally used it in an actual run, because this is a random seed. It's not like a ranked seed that's guaranteed to be good. I was resetting for a couple of hours, specifically this day, to get this run. But I have spent many days, many days. Like I've actually been streaming like pretty much when I was getting this PB. I've been streaming like every single day for like a week and a half, just like running for a couple hours every day. So it's a bit of a grind, but it's pretty fun to do. I have fun. I get to listen to music while I do some no mic streaming, and speedrunning is always fun. Very mechanically challenging, very decisionally challenging. I don't know if that's a good phrase, but you got to make quick decisions. You got to make correct decisions. And I like it a lot. It's a lot of critical thinking. Perhaps the coolest thing about this run, though, is just the end game. It's not necessarily, I mean, the zero cycle is part of it, but it's my fastest end game by far, which means like an end game, it usually starts from when you leave the nether with all of your blaze rods and ender pearls. I think this one, it's sub 2 minutes from leaving the nether, which is just, oh my gosh, dude, it's absurd. I got super lucky with it, and I played it super well, and I'm very proud of it. I think there's one like major mistake in this run, and then everything else is pretty minor, unless I'm just missing something, in which case I gotta get better and learn how to do stuff better. But I also wanted to talk about a book I was reading, because I figure I wouldn't be able to commentate this whole run, because like, I don't know, it's pretty standard. Like most runs will start looking pretty similar, but oh my gosh, dude, this end game is pretty gnarly. So the book I'm reading is called, I guess I finished it yesterday. It's called Endurance, and it's the story of Ernest Shackleton. Maybe you've heard the name Shackleton before. He's the first guy who tried to cross Antarctica, but in this book, he doesn't successfully cross Antarctica. He basically gets stuck in the ice, and for, I think it's almost 2 years, it's like a year and many months, he and his crew get stuck in Antarctica and have to make their way out through lifeboats, climbing through mountains, sailing across seas, wintering for like a year and a half, just in like literally floating on ice. They're called like floes, just a giant slab of ice, because like, I don't know, near Antarctica it's super cold, so the water freezes when it gets winter, and so there's just massive plains of floating ice, and then towards the spring they'll break up and they start moving a ton. It was so interesting. A really good book, and one of the coolest reasons that maybe I liked this so much is it wasn't this is inspired by these real events that happen. I mean, you'll see movies like that, like based on a true story, when like you can take a lot of creative liberties with like what actually happened if you're a director or whatnot. And those are movies, I guess, but this is a book. And so I guess technically I don't know, it's more of a summary of what happened. I remember I read the intro of the book, you know, the things like most people skip over, they call like the preface, I don't really know what you call it, talking about like how and why they wrote this book. But the author basically interviewed everybody who was on the ship. It was like 28 people, and for several years they studied this. They got maps out, and most importantly, they used a lot of the people's actual diary entries. And so they wanted this book to be as realistic as possible. So there's a whole bunch of timestamps, like all throughout the book. It's like Wednesday at 12:30, the team set off to the second camp or whatever, which is just like, it's a real thing that happened. And so it's just an insane story. Like these people had to survive for like 2 years with their food running out, like stuck in the ice. They can't move, and I didn't realize like how inhospitable Antarctica is. Even though that sounds kind of dumb, it's just like it's insane. And I don't know. So I finished the book the other day. Definitely would recommend if you're looking for a new book to read. I thought it was kind of cool. It makes me think a lot about like just being mentally tough, competing, all of those sort of mind games that go on, I guess. And this is kind of an extreme version of just surviving and endurance, which I guess is the name of the book, which is also the name of their ship. That's why it's called Endurance. And then in a, I guess not as extreme of light, but still very extreme of light, I did want to mention, I guess kind of a shout out. One of my friends just finished climbing Mount Everest, like summited, and it took him like 30 days or something, because you have to like, I thought this was super interesting too. He documented the whole process on YouTube, and it takes a month to do, because like your body just can't survive being that high up, and so you have to go up and then back down and then up and back down to get your body to literally create more red blood cells so you can like deal with less oxygen. And so he documented the whole thing. He made a video pretty much every single day on the trip, and so for the past month I've just been binging that series. And the cool thing is, you guys, pretty much every person has heard of this guy. Here's my friend. His name is Sipover. I know, right? Minecraft YouTuber climbing Mount Everest. He's like at age 19, kind of insane. So it's his second channel, or main whatever you want to call it. It's his channel called Ryan Mitchell, because that's his name IRL. And so yeah, if you're watching this, congrats. I sent him a little message, so there's that. But I had a ton of fun watching that. In particular, I really liked episode number 27. If you're looking for a place to start, I think that was a pretty good episode. That's like when he's there's like four camps you go to before you reach the summit of Everest. So they went to like, I think it's camp 2, and then they had to go all the way back down and rest for a couple days before coming back up to make the final push. And 27 is about him coming back down. And so I think that was a pretty cool episode. He literally walks like he like hikes 22 miles down. And so yeah, that was pretty cool. I think those are all the things I wanted to mention in this commentary video. I'm finding lately my commentary videos have been like, I have a couple things I want to talk about, so I'm just going to talk about them. It's not like a very, there's not like a central story that I'm trying to tell. Those don't happen super often, to be honest. And then if they do happen, it's like, it's usually not long enough for a 10, 15 minute video. But in this case, we're just gonna switch back to the speedrunning, because I do really like this run. I know I've been talking about other things, but this is the fastest run ever, and it just feels so good having a zero. I've said zero cycle too much. Sorry, I'll shut up until we actually get there. But you might notice it's 8 minutes right now, and I'm only just leaving Nether. Like, kind of slow pace. Let's be honest here. My fastest time leaving Nether with everything, 5 minutes 45 seconds, or maybe it's like 35, something like that. But right here, I'm about to see why this run gets so crazy. So I throw my eye, and the blind distance is, wait for it, zoom macro, boom, measure the pixels. Ninja Rain Bot appears in the corner, 142 blocks. So I'm like, oh gosh, I just gotta cook, man. Throw one pearl, and I probably could have thrown another pearl here to get a little faster, but it's like hard keeping track in your head where exactly you need to go to, and you can easily like overshoot a pearl. So running wasn't really much slower here, and it's more accurate. So I think it's probably just the correct move, but I'm already digging down. Less like 30-ish seconds after I blinded, I'm almost at the stronghold. And so now I'm making up pace on my PB. My fastest stronghold ender time is like 7:20. So it just goes to show like speedrunning, there's a lot of variation, you know, what kind of splits you can have. So I nail this preemptive, I get a spike, I'm going straight down, and I'm not even processing at this point that I'm really on pace. I'm kind of just playing it out to play out, and like, it's a cool blind, so we're just zooming, bro, we're zooming. And then I think this eye fill in is pretty fast, watch this. Pretty satisfying, pretty good. And now we hit the 0. What makes this cool is it's tower 97, so it's 97 blocks tall, which is one of the taller towers. And like, dude, if you would have told me that my PB is hitting this, I don't know, like a couple months ago, I would have thought I was the coolest guy ever. So first bed off, pretty good. I'm actually offset by 1, which is a little bit sketch. I shouldn't be doing that, but you know what? We'll pull it off. Second bed, pretty decent. Third bed, Fourth, solid. This is either 5th or 6th. I can't remember. I think it was a 5 bed. No, I think it was a 6th. I can't remember. But it feels so good, dude. Like, you can see my mouse shaking. I'll kind of just let this play out because I have kind of a cool reaction. Yeah, speedrun's been paying off. I've been getting better, and it's been showing. So, pretty pumped. Holy frick, that PB'd! What was that? 2 100 block blinds in a row. What? Dude, that feels like I cheated. Did you see that? Back to back. What is that? The worst blind of all time. The sickest 0, bro. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Commentary video. What is going on?